Hello everyone, hope you're fine. Today we're looking at the Pioneer DJ CDJ-3000. It's a multiplayer allow you to mix MP3s, AAC, WAV, AFF, FLAC and ALAC with some device like USB, some drive, a USB key, HDD, SSD, SD card. You can also mix from Rekordbox export part and you can send your track directly on the player, or you can easily mix with the performance part of Rekordbox. This unit, the CDJ-3000, allow you to unlock the performance part, so you have just to plug the USB cable, have the latest update of Rekordbox, and it's plug and play. You can also mix on Serato, but it will be an upgrade maybe in 2 or 3 months. I don't really know for now, but it will be possible, no problem. It will be a Serato ready device. Make sure you have already a mixer or sound card or controller with that to unlock the certificate part of Serato. And let's see what you have in the box. So you have a little quick manual. You have the power adapter, the power cable. It's a new, some people know that. It's a new security cable. You have an Ethernet cable, and the best thing, you have an SPDIF coaxial digital cable. So it's very cool to have it in the box. For the connection, you have your audio output in analog and digital. You have a new power supply. It will prevent from taking the cable. You have the Ethernet connection for the export part, a USB key, HDD, SSD, and the USB port for the export part if you want, or for the performance part. Let's see the navigation first. So when you insert your USB key, you will see a coloration. We will see after. It's very important. It's an information to see which key you are using with other DJs, etc. So you can have the color by key. So it's pretty cool. And you will see after, when you read a track, you will have the coloration of the track playing. You can have a USB key red, for example, your USB key, but you can have a green track, we will see, with the track from another USB key. Another cool thing is the same as the CDJ-3000 Nexus 2, but you can load your settings, your own settings you put directly on your USB key. So if I, for example, I have CDJ here, BeatSync here, maybe Kiss, no, I don't have another lecture, another player, maybe 100 wide, 100% master tempo and quantize. It's the settings for the last DJ. I'm going in the lecture, I plug the USB key, I put load my setting, and I don't have quantize, I don't have BeatSync. I have 6% because I like this. I don't have master tempo. Everything is like I want. So after, you have two type of DJs. Those are who like the little encoder, or those who like the touch screen. So you can easily go to the USB key with the touch screen. You can go to each playlist. You can load a track if you want. But you can, of course, use the encoder. You can back like that. You can go back. You can take a track. You can do what you want with the two types. Of course, you can scroll your track like that. You can sort by number if you put the track with a certain number. You can sort the track. You can sort by default. You can put the minimum BPM to the maximum BPM, or the other side. You can put the minimum key to the last key, or the contrary. You can hide the preview setting, but you will see it's pretty cool to have the waveform here. You will see after with the DGM. You can increase or decrease the letters, so you can have big letters or not, and each track can have its info. I don't have info in each track, but you can see the info here. So it's pretty cool. On the left, you have the same thing as a CDJ-3000 Nexus 2, but it's a better view. You can sort all these little things like playlist, track, BPM. You can sort them directly on Rekordbox to put it on a USB key, so you can have playlist first, track secondary, etc. And you can scroll like that too. You can have another PFL section, another Q section, by pressing the little waveform. So what you're listening is the PFL part. So if I take this track, I play it, I go to browse, that you listen is the track on the master, and this is the PFL. But the track still play, so the public don't hear that. So it's pretty cool. And what is very, very cool is that on the screen, when you're playing the track, you can listen to another part. So what you're listening here is the real track, and what you're listening here now, it's the PFL. So it's really, really cool. You can tag your track. You know, if somebody asks you a track but it's not the time to play it, you can put it directly on the tag list. You know, it's like your record when you put your record on the side to play further. And you have this tag list here. And you can also create a playlist directly on, you will see, yes, on your playlist here with the this tag list. And after you can disable, erase all the track. You have a shortcut for playlist, it's pretty cool. You have a search button to search your track, so you can have 2 or 3 letters and have all your tracks. So it's pretty cool. You have also the shortcut like the CDJ-3000 Nexus 2, but you have more information. You can have the LCD brightness here, the jog brightness here. You can, it's the same, but you can have two phase meter waveform. We will see after with another track. It's pretty cool. You can have your Hotcue auto load, the quantize value when you play some Hotcues or loops, your beat jump value. It's the default beat jump value on the beat jump. We will see after with the beat jump part. So you can have 2 different beat jump. You see when you are on a track, maybe here, you can have this beat jump here, but we will see after. And the beat jump directly on the button. So it's pretty cool. You can have all waveform, you see, but the best one is this one because you see it's particularly beautiful. The free band waveform. And at the end you have the waveform current position. You can go on the center like this, or you can go on the left like this. So you can easily see what is going on your track, but I prefer center. And at the end, the track list. When you have a playlist, for example, I don't know, this one, and you have maybe 100 tracks, but you're playing one track and you want the best track near the not the same key, but the more approachable key and the most accurate BPM with this track. So you have to push longer edit here, and you will have settings to have the great BPM, the great key, or the key the most accurate for the next track. And you can have also your tag. You see there is some DJs who put maybe plus plus or plus 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 on each track, so you can sort by your own commenter. your old command. Now you know perfectly how to navigate on your USB drive and on your player. Let's focus just 1 second, 1 minute for the difference between keys. You know, at the beginning of the navigation, you can have a coloration of a color for each key, each USB key. So if you have 4 lectors, you can have 4 DJs, and you can choose a color for each one. So first I have red for my player 3 and green for my player 4, but you see that there is a red light because I have each track directly on this USB key. So I can perfectly choose the key on my right and put my track, and I have the green key on the player red, for example. Or I can, of course, take something in my green key from my green player, from my player 4. But of course I can take also a track directly on my USB on the left. So you can have a great indicator which on which USB key you're taking your track, etc., etc. And to finish with the screen before going to another things, like I said, with the shortcut you can choose from waveform to phase. So phase, you have the phase, the master, and the track playing here. But if you touch here, you see you have the waveform of the master part. So if I take master, you will have this, like this track here for the master part. If I push master here, I have my track here and this track directly here. So it's beautiful to have those two waveforms directly on the same screen. So a big browsing part. Let's play a track for now. So you will have your play button, pause button. You have vinyl speed adjust. You can have the shortest one, or maybe like that, or maybe longer. After, you will have your Q button. So the Q button is a point directly on the track. You can record this point, for example, or maybe, for example, this point. So you can record where you want. After, you will have track search and search. Usually with search you have to turn the jog, but here you will see it's pretty fast on the screen. So you don't need to touch the platter at all. You can browse your track like that. You can navigate the next track, etc. Let's talk about the reverse and the slip reverse. So reverse will be hold like that, and slip reverse just toggle like that. And you see the music still play underneath, so you can jump directly on your feet when you release the reverse. We are jumping about all these functions we will see after. Sleep mode, quantize mode. Like I show you in the beginning of the video, you can see different tips about sleep mode, quantize. The main thing is sleep mode allow you to make manipulations and the track still play underneath. So if you need more information about sleep mode or quantize, you can see the link directly on the beginning of the video. So basically, when you make, for example, a break like that, or a backspin, for example, like that, you go in the past of the track. But with sleep mode, you see, you can make what you want and the track still play underneath. After, quantize allow you to match every point, every cue point, every Hotcue, every loop directly on the grid of the track. Like I said, you can also watch my video about this in the link with all the tips. And now let's talk about the jog. So the jog in the Pioneer history, it's a, how can I say, it's a big piece, it's a big folder, you know, it's a big situation. According to me, you can give to me a CDG 400, XDG, RX, something like that, and I will mix with pleasure, with good sensation. It's okay for me. For some people, they need a jog of a CDG 2000 and nothing else. But I never notice a big surprise between two jogs, between maybe CDG 1000, CDG 2000, but this time on the CDG 3000, it's a breakthrough for me. It's a breakthrough. It's a new sensation. The manipulation is very different than CDG 2000 Nexus 2, and I can't tell you in this video how it feels, but you can listen to it like that. So you see the big difference on the sound, etc. So I think it's a huge step between those two players. And of course, with this jog, you can have bending on the choral, so deceleration, acceleration on the platter when you are on CDG mode, and if you are on vinyl mode, you can have deceleration, acceleration, so bending on the choral, but you still have the scratch on the platter. And the platter it's more accurate, you know, when you touch it. So it's a good point, and you have all information inside. You can have your picture on it. You can have vinyl here. You can have sleep mode. You can have sync or not sync if it's the master or not. But I don't have the other player here. So the platter, the jog, is much better for me. And you see, I put those two units to see the difference. You have lot of difference. You have, like we saw in the browse part, you have the playlist button directly here. You have a lot of things. You have USB is directly. It's not on the. You see, it's on the screen. After you have all the things here. A lot of difference. Hotcue are not here. You have the 8 Hotcue here and not 4 and 4. Lot of little. You have beat jump. You see, so you can compare the difference, the screen, etc. between those two players. And now let's talk about the pitch. It comes with different value. You can arrange it with minus or plus 6%, 10%, 16%, and 100% wide. So you can have this value on the screen, but like we saw on the beginning on the video with the browse mode, you can have all these parameters, all these settings directly on your USB key or SD card, or directly in the export part. You can send the information directly on the player. You will have a master tempo, allow you to manage the tempo, you see, with the key of the track. So you change the key and the tempo, but you can have the master tempo. It's a time stretch, allow you to move the tempo, but not the pitch. You have the original pitch. You can also sync two key of with another track. For example, let's see, one track, whatever. Let's put at 0% here, like that. 0% here. Okay. And you have one track at 150 and one track at 122. You have this key here, the C, and F key here. So let's see when I move to master deck here, if I push beat sync, I will have 150, and when I push key sync, I will have the key straight matching to the other track. And now let's focus on the new functions. So you had this on the CDJ-3000 Nexus 2, the beat jump, but that is new is that you can jump between settings on the screen with a touch button here. You have little value like half a beat, 1 beat, 2 beat, 4 beat. You can jump to 8 bit, 16 bit, 32 and 64 bit with little 2 pages. And what is great, we saw that in the shortcuts, but you can also have so here you can also have 2 buttons for the beat jump, so you can easily jump to little value and big value. For example, and little value, but I can move here with the big value. So it's pretty cool. Just front, you have the 2 auto beat loop 4 and 8. So let's switch to the loop section. So you can loop with different settings. You can loop with the in point, out point. So basically, when you want in point, you can decrease and increase the beat loop with different settings. You can decrease here. You can decrease with beat loop here, for example. So first, with in out, you can reloop when you want. You see, when you are here, you can reloop here, for example. So first in out, after you can also with the 8 and 4. So 4 and 8, you can decrease and increase if you want. After you will have the in point for 4-bit loop. And after you can decrease, increase. And at the end, you can jump directly on the screen with beat loop. You have different settings, little and big loop with like we can say a binary loop. You see quarter, half, 1 beat, 2 beat, 4 beat, and you have we can call it strange loop like 3, 2, 3, 5, 6. I think you can make a lot of great things with that, but you have to manage that with time. You see, let's see with the a cappella part. For example, not this track here, this track here, yes.
Is there any way, or do you like not being like not being like not being like not like not like not like not like not being like not being like
So you see, with little practice, you can manage some different loop. It's not like always, you see, it's little different loops. So, but it could be very, very fun if you manage that with a lot of practice. So the beat loop, of course, you can save your loop. For example, when you this loop, you like this loop, etc. You want to save it. You have just to push the button, the Hotcue button, and you have a out loop. You can erase with the button on the left. And so let's see these 8 Hotcue button, so you can record to 8 Hotcues. You can change the colors if you want directly on Rekordbox when you prepare all your tracks. You can also, like we saw just now, you can record a loop if you want. So basically, when you record with no loop, you will have Hotcue. And when you record a loop, you will have a loop, of course. And at the end, let's see on the screen, you have a final new function, the key shift. So key shift allow you to change the pitch, the key of your track without changing the tempo. But you will see it's better to use it on a little part of the track, like an a cappella, saxo, something like that. Because you see, if you see on all the track, you will have a strange thing. So you can down the key, you can up the key, and you can reset on the middle. So let's try with the a cappella.
Is there any way, or do you like not being found, being found, being found, being
So we saw the possibilities with a USB key or SD card, SSD, sorry. Nothing about the computer. So now we will see the export part of Rekordbox, Pro DJ Link. Same thing, you have just to plug every CDG to Ethernet cable, RG45, to a switch. This switch, you can plug it directly on your computer. You can also, with a good driver directly on the Pioneer DJ website, you can also plug every CDG to the switch and just one CDG to the computer with a USB cable if you don't have any Ethernet communication on your computer. But the link will be, the Pro DJ link will be the same. So when you have everything plugged, you have just to, you have the choice to choose your track directly on your computer. You see, like that. Or for the deck 2. But you can also directly choose on your CDG. You see, I have my USB key on deck 3, deck 4, and I have my computer, so I can choose directly on it and choose my track if I want, like that. It's the same thing if you prefer to choose your track directly on your computer or directly on the CDG. Like I said in the beginning of the video, another method to play your track is the performance part in Rekordbox. So the CDJ-3000 unlock the performance part. You have just to plug the USB. There is no driver. It's plug and play. You have just to have the latest update of Rekordbox, of course, and it's easy. You have just to choose the CDG, the control of Rekordbox. You choose the deck, for example, deck 3 in my video. You take a playlist and it works. Keep in mind that if you have or not a mixer with a sound card, you should use the onboard sound card of the mixer. It's very easy to connect to play your track directly, and the CDG is just a controller. But if you don't have sound card directly on your mixer, it's not a problem. Your CDG has a sound card, like in this video, and you can play the track directly on Rekordbox. Don't forget to install the little driver. It's not the driver for the CDJ, but it's an aggregator for if you use a Mac for your computer. Last method to have your track. If you're used to a Rekordbox app on your iPhone or your iPad and Android, you can also choose your track directly from your iPad. The Connexions is pretty the same. Every CDJ has to be plugged directly on Ethernet on your router or switch. You can after plug your iPad directly on one of the CDJs or by Wi-Fi. So first you launch the app, go to settings, Prodigy link connection. In a few seconds you will see the iPad directly on each CDJ, and you push twice and you can go directly on your iPad. So you can see directly on the CDJ, you can choose your track. For example here, every track you see here, it's from the iPad and it's wave. So you see it's very fast. All those tracks are wave. So it's pretty fast, but it's from the CDJ. Oh, you can choose from the CDJ, but you can choose from, for example, the iPad. You see, and it's the same. Of course, you can have the same waveform, like USB key, export, performance. And it's the end of the video for the CDJ-3000 from Pioneer DJ. If you have any questions about this product, feel free to ask under the video. Like always, feel free to subscribe, to click on the bell button to be notified for every new content. See you next content, and have a good day. Bye bye, take care everybody.